Lauderdale came out pretty hard today and controlled the game pretty superbly from there.
Yeah, we were certainly hoping we'd win the toss, and we did. And we used the wind very, very intelligently in the first quarter and kicked, I think it was 7 goals. Kicked accurately too, which made a difference. But we thought we used the ball really well in the first quarter, and even in the second quarter when we worked against it, we controlled the play as well. So that was really pleasing.
Yeah, you definitely had the ascendancy around the contest. That was probably what was behind the first quarter. Even with that win, you still controlled the middle of the park really well.
Yeah, I think Robbie McManus and Nat Franklin, their inside work was exceptional today. Their hands off the deck was good. Hayden Smith gave them first use of the footy, and they capitalised on that. And we had some really good forward entries, which resulted in set shots on goal. We went away from that in the second half, though. That was disappointing.
Yeah, you had Ben McGuinness, I thought, typified this, had a really dominant performance up forward in sort of the way he patrolled the park, but probably didn't kick quite as accurately as you might have hoped. A lot of forwards did that. Yeah,
well, Benny was actually starting to fall back, and Colin Garland was heading to the forward line, and then he sat back in the back line and had one extra, so we sent Benny forward straight away. That actually worked to our advantage because he ended up having 4 or 5 shots on goal in the first quarter, and he probably should have kicked more than he did, but he was certainly providing a presence up there, and he was one of many players that sort of drifted in and out of the game, which was not what we wanted.
Yeah. Next week, up to Launceston for a rematch with the Bombers. It's a pretty crucial time of the year for you. You'd be happy to be coming into it with a reasonable touch of form.
Yeah, we've been up there before in the same sort of form, and it's been really nice up there. But we're looking forward to it this time. We've got a lot of guys that are more comfortable in their positions as opposed to this time when we went up there in about round 3 or 4. And yeah, we've definitely been looking forward to this game for the last couple of weeks.
Probably wasn't the start that the Demons were hoping for today, but you got a good response after quarter time.
Yeah, I think Lauderdale kicked 7 goals in the first quarter and 4 goals in the first 5 minutes, and we had a plan in place. We didn't obviously we didn't carry it out in the first quarter, and the first half was disappointing, but to the boys' credit again, there was a response in the second half, and we started to play how we came down here to play, and obviously I think after quarter time was 8 goals to 6. So we take something away again, which is good.
Yeah, you spoke of a plan. What didn't work in that first quarter?
Well, we'd planned. The problem is with a young group, you come down here with a plan, and because it's so windy, you've nearly got to play one side of the ground. But because they're young guys and they want to take the game on and play on at all times, a couple of guys played on and tried to switch the ball, which is pretty hard to do in these types of conditions. And I suppose when you make those type of errors and they just get scoreboard pressure, the young guys go into their shell, and you look up at the scoreboard, it's 46 to zip, and you probably start questioning yourself as a player that do these plans actually work. But we obviously showed in the second half if we can stick to what we came down to do, we can score a few goals and keep them to 2 or 3, which is great.
Yeah, you speak of guys who can break the game open. You did have some young guys that really stood up in that second half. Jonty Barwick, fantastic. Angus Norton.
Yeah, I mean, we thought we probably had a little bit more speed on the outside than Lauderdale, so that's why we threw both Pepin and Baxter Norton around the ball. Also, I think Angus Norton's second half was sensational. I think he's his 3rd game of senior footy, and he really led the way there in the second half. I thought also Kilpatrick around the ball was quite good. Yeah, so they're the positives we'll take out of today.
Yeah. A few big ins today as well. You had Colin Garland come back in. How did you rate his performance?
It's tough for the big fella. We think he might have broken his thumb in a contest. I think it was in the first quarter. He came off quite frustrated. I think it was when he got tackled and he actually kicked the ball through, and the umpire paid a deliberate through the goals, which I'm not sure if that's the rules as such. So Carl came off pretty frustrated then. Yeah, so it was a tremendous effort by him to actually play the game out under those circumstances.
You've got the bye next week. What are the plans from there? A few days off?
Yeah, so they do rehab tomorrow. So they've been in their line groups for the whole of June on a Monday night, so it's up to the line coach if they want to continue on doing what they were doing on a Monday. Tuesday night they're off, they get their Wednesday lift off, and then Thursday we'll have a pretty competitive training session that might involve a 20-minute half practice match. But we'll just see how the guys pull up, because there were quite a few boys that pulled up sore today.